Hey, this what you were talking about, nice guy? I got it. Oh, my bad.
Greetings and salutations, Focus Up family. Welcome to the September 27, 2025 installment of the Focus Up Show. We thank you for tuning in with us live every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on YouTube and various other platforms, catching up with us on replay. And we ask that you click that like, that subscribe, that bell, and share to support and maintain your weekly Focus Up fix. I am Mr. Nice Guy, nice as in the word saint spelled backwards. And today, my co-hosts are we got Student X live from the dojo, star of Mutant Politics. We got Afro Agnostics. He's in the house. He's probably taking care of some things, so he'll be back on. But co-star of Objective Deconstruction and star of Afro Agnostic videos on YouTube and TikTok. We got Mr. Floyd X, the boss man. See, I caught you off guard.
Yeah. I need a show. You ain't got no show to name me? Floyd X.
Show is this is Floyd X's show. Floyd X is the boss of the Focus Up Show. The Focus Up Show is Floyd X's show. Let's be very clear about
I'm the boss, and I give all the orders.
All right, I like that.
And then infamous El Pooh, star of Spin That Back. And no Spin That Back today, no Mutant Politics today, no Objective Deconstruction, but we're going to have a little overtime today. No First Lady J. Hey, First Lady J, we're putting out an APB for you, sister. Come on back. But yeah, that's what's up. So, holding it down in the meanwhile, all this testosterone. So what's going on with you, brother Student X, live from the dojo?
Brother, just over here, just confused as to why Real Madrid gave up this lead and down 4-2 now. Vamos, Madrid! Vamos! So that's it, brother. Just a chilling, brother. Excited to have a conversation with you gentlemen today. And shout out to our sister, man. We ain't seen her in a while, you know what I mean? But shout out wherever she's doing, you know what I mean? Respect. I miss that sister.
That's what's up. I don't know if the Afro Agnostic thing is done, so we'll wait for him to come back. What's going on with you, boss man?
Man, I'm chilling, making this move happen, moving into a new home and things like that. Excited about that. And so I got to get it out the way today and finish up.
Now you put it out there, so I just got to say congratulations on it. That's a real big thing. This brother got him a house, real estate.
It only took me 25 years. Only took me 25 years.
Hey, but you got there. That's the main thing. That's what's up.
Yeah.
So infamous El Pooh, what it do, sir?
Yeah, well, how I say, man, blessed and happy to be here once again. I ain't got too much going on, just trying to hold on to this little piece that I do have. So, another day, another struggle.
That's what's up. Amen to that. So that having been said, I know Afro Agnostic ain't gonna miss out on this.
Brother Afro, where you at, brother?
I'll put out an APB for him. But yes. Let's start it off. Let's get to the get. What did you say?
I said put his picture aside for now. But.
Okay. So let's get to the get. First thing up, Assata Shakur, a black liberation activist who was given political asylum in Cuba after her 1979 escape from a U.S. prison where she had been serving a life sentence for killing a police officer, has died. Her daughter and the Cuban government have said. So I admittedly don't know a whole bunch about this sister, but I'm definitely going to be leaning on bring our Afro Agnostics back. I'm going to be leaning on Afro Agnostics and Student X to give us a lot more information about this sister. So you want to start it off, brother Afro Agnostic?
Oh yeah. What up? For sure. So she is the who's who in Black power and politics. Me being a member, part of an organization that is a political descendant of the Black Power movement, she is iconic in the same way Martin Luther King is to the overall, civil rights movement. But she became a modern day Harriet Tubman. Just a little bit about her background: civil rights activist. She was radicalized. She became politically left She joined the Black Panther Party and the Black Liberation Army. Of course, she was then targeted by the COINTELPRO, the counterinsurgency program. They had purposely railroaded her with a lot of different cases between 71 and 73. She was pretty much on the run because of a manhunt for her. This culminated to a shootout at the New Jersey Turnpike, in which one officer was killed, one was wounded, and one member of the party was killed and wounded as well. So there was an equal exchange. She was, of course, charged with the murder of that New Jersey trooper. She was then they charged. I think they gave her 20 years, but then she was also charged with like 12 other crimes that they just made shit up. Again, she was targeted, but the big point of her story that captured me early on, and when I first got involved in politics, was her escape. You know what I'm saying? So always that more of a triumphant end. She was liberated from the prison by the Black Liberation Army. Folks that I've met later, Sekou Odinga, they were accomplices in her escape. Sekou Odinga was the other white lady too, who was also part of the Black Liberation Army. Sorry, I forget her name. But anyway, since her escape, her bounty has increased, has been enforced by every U.S. president. There was a hands-off Assata campaign by Charles Barristan. She was from Queens. Queens get the money. So it's just interesting that Nas surpassed Jay-Z, and this happened at the same time because, this sister, I'm glad that she was never extradited. Obama, every president pushed for her extradition. They doubled the money in her bounty. She was the first woman, not only Black woman, but first woman to be on the Homeland domestic terrorist list. And I take honor in that because that's in the tradition of Harriet Tubman, who was a wanted fugitive. That's also in the tradition of Angela Davis. So, long live Assata, hands off Assata still. And, just to point out really quick, I know that would be zooming back out, the statement.
Give away our secrets, man.
He got the assignment. Yeah, no, go ahead.
Forever immortalize her. And I would just say last words really quick is that hard, my calling card. Was it reporter, supporter of Shesmar? That's her government name, Joanne Shesmar. So she would be ever immortalized in music.
I never put that together, brother.
Yeah, I never knew that. Yeah, you just edited that. Give him a horn for that. Give him a horn from that. Yeah, that's
yeah. Common did one too. Common. Everyone knows Common song.
Good stuff. What's going on? What you got to say, Student X?
Bro, I gotta start off right from the gate. Whenever I'm gonna address, and talk about this system, and particularly now that she's no longer among us, is original salute. That sister right there was a soldier. Let me tell you about that. And this was at a time to where we had a different sort of struggle. It was absolutely not only open engagement and warfare from those in authority, being law enforcement in particular, as well as the court systems and other institutions, but then the general public. What left me a big impact on me was watching Eyes on the Prize and seeing actual footage of what was going down at that time, and that had a more great impact on me and to understand really what we were dealing with at this time. So, when she joined the BPP in Oakland and Harlem, but then she left because of what she felt was a lot of sexism, and I can understand, because I'm sure it absolutely was that, and there's just a lack of focus on African-American history. So then the sister goes from, a BPP to BLA, not to be confused with BLM. Let's make sure we have understand that, because BLA, bruh, this was a militant underground group, and they were engaged.
What's that stand for?
Black Liberation Army. And they were engaged in what they would say called bank expropriations, aka robberies, anti-drug dealer actions, aka robbing drug dealers, and then police confrontations. And they was, they coined a term that, was famous when we were growing up. She was about it. You see what I'm saying? And BLA was about it. And absolutely they came under the focus of COINTELPRO, as well as Mossad and other organizations as well. But like the brother said, and then I'll transition out, is that what immortalized her was, her ultimately being freed from being in prison as a political prisoner.
Man.
I mean, people, I think you got to wrap your head around that. There was the brothers and sisters who got this sister out of prison.
Give him a hard that black woman was protected. That black woman was protected.
Today. I don't see it. BLM don't recommend it. Doesn't really embody it, and I just don't really see it. So again, I just want to say salute to that sister, man. That sister is and was a soldier and will always be remembered in my household. Guaranteed. Right.
Well, let's real quick. Let's hear some words from our sister.
Well, I'm gonna be real right now. I can't be any other way. Today, my mother died, and I didn't know if I could do this, but since I didn't have anything else to do, and I figured this was the best homage I could pay to my mother, is to try to carry on her tradition, what she passed down to me, what my grandmother passed down to her, and what their foremothers passed down to them. I hope that I can live up to my mother's example, and I hope I can live up to my ancestors' expectation of me, because I really believe that I have a duty to all those who have come before me, to all those who lie at the bottom of the ocean, to all those who lost their lives, whether it's in cane fields or the cotton fields or hanging off some tree, to continue this struggle and to continue to love and to continue to believe and to continue to try to be human, to be giving, to be loving.
Like Student X said, salute to that sister.
If I can add really quick, just to the audience out there, 3 quick things. Her book, her autobiography, highly recommended. I had my kids even read it when they were young because she was our hero. And then also that documentary, that excerpt is from the documentary Eyes on the Rainbow. And even her auntie / lawyer wrote a book called Inadmissible Evidence, which basically exonerates her from the Turnpike case. But long live Assata.
Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party, Brother Walker. What's going on with you, sir?
What's up, man? I'm out in the middle of the desert. You know me. Yeah, I'm exploring. Let's rock.
That's what's up. All right, so we want to go on. What we got up next after that? I'm sorry, El Poo, did you want to say something?
Oh, no, I'm just saying, well, rest in peace to the sister. One thing I'll say. Another thing I'll say is when we had sisters like that walking around all the way up to like Sister Soldier, and Sister Soldier seemed like the last female that really got some recognition for being like a stand-up ass female, somewhat similar to this, that we got some type of exposure to. But when we had a whole lot of sisters out here like that at our disposal that these young sisters can look at, they wasn't representing like they are right now. I'm just leave it like that.
All right, so what do we got up next? It's welcome back, Jimmy Kimmel returns. Oh, Walk, I'm glad you came back just in time. So, Jimmy Kimmel made some comments that were construed to be a disrespect to Charlie Kirk, and they were definitely construed to be disrespectful to be Donald Trump, which they absolutely were. And the syndicate basically pulled him off the air. The FCC put real big pressure on him with all these threats, and basically they pulled him off the air. But they caved in. Disney lost a ton of money. Jimmy Kimmel already had one foot out the door. I mean, he basically was saying like, look, I want to come back because there's a lot of people's jobs depend on the show. But the bottom line is, they gave him power to negotiate his terms. He came back to way bigger ratings than when he left, even when he didn't even have the full syndication back up. But now, as of Friday, the full syndication is back up. And I want to stress, he did not apologize. He clarified what he said, and then he dug in on Trump. So salute to that brother pulling that off. So go ahead, Walk. Say what you got to say.
He took his spanking. White folks gave him a good spanking for speaking on somebody who they're attempting to make a martyr, which is Charlie Kirk. He took his spanking. They took him off the air. They showed him, you better watch your mouth, boy. Now, but I'm not going to say he caved in. You know who caved in? The Democrats. They voted unanimously to the remembrance of Charlie Kirk Day. That's who caved in. And that's who the Democrat freaking mindless zombies vote for all the time. And this dude was clearly a racist.
They did not vote unanimously for that, but
what was it? Who opposed it?
Well, first of all, Jasmine Crockett, all the black people pretty much did, and all but two white
Pretty
people.
much. Come on, bro. You just talking. They got to prove nobody held no ground. Come on,
they did hold it. Hey, anybody actually read this can verify exactly what I said?
We're talking about. Come on, we get to that later. Let's
go ahead.
Afro
agnostics. Go ahead, brother. What you got to say
about
it?
Oh man, the white boy got his job back. His ratings improved, but to me, it's bigger than Jimmy Kimmel. It's about free speech, and legally, in the legal context, it's about the First Amendment. Will it be null and void, or will it be respected? Do we have it? Because without free speech, we don't have freedom. But at the same time, we know that fascism requires the suppression of free speech. So, especially the free speech of your enemy. So this is what this is about to me. When you look at what MAGA is doing in universities and the museums, it just parallels all that, and it's unprecedented. There's no other example of all these different areas where freedom of thought and freedom of speech is being suppressed.
All right, student next. What you got to say about this, brother?
Yeah, I think it's definitely more complicated than just simply free speech. I think the matter at hand is we have a problem with, and have had a problem with media in particular, what we would call mainstream media or corporate media, whatever label you have, passing misinformation, disinformation, and what they accuse others of doing. They, in fact, have been guilty of doing this for as many years as I can remember, going back. It's called propaganda. And so that's the bigger issue at hand. But I agree that, we have to be very, very careful, because censorship, I'm not with that. I don't, we can't have an echo chamber and have people's, free speech being attacked. That's the fundamental right that makes us, who we are, in terms of Americans, and then having that fundamental protection. And because that's not true damn near anywhere else, including Europe.
That's what's up. I'm about to say, Mr. Floyd X, you got something to say about this? You want to eat there, or should I just pass it on? There you go. What you got to say about it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad Jimmy Kimmel is back, because I like watching his monologues, because he give a good summary of what's going on, whether it's that day or that week. Him and The Daily Show, in a comedic manner, give a good summary and can keep you abreast in what's happening in politics and make it entertaining, because the shit that they be pulling off is some underhanded, dirty, underdog, slimy. The Donald Trump train is a disgusting, sickening, and Jimmy Kimmel exposes it every opportunity he gets. So salute to Jimmy Kimmel. I'm glad he's back. Glad the show is here. I'm glad Disney didn't completely cave. They kind of caved, but didn't completely cave, and that they brought him back, and he's able to continue the free speech.
I just want to, if I can add really quick, just a little context to what Student X said. Sometimes we look at that as propaganda, and it is. But oftentimes, fascists use that as propaganda, that the media was being propagandized or is putting out misinformation. They often use that. So this is this is the typical strategy that fascists use to justify censorship and things like that. Another avenue that Trump has taken is that he's defunding public broadcasting, which which finances a lot of the media that you see, the people of color media that you see in people of color neighborhoods, because of course they don't have the resources, so they get that funding. But by cutting that down, you're also suppressing the media of marginalized people.
Pooh, what you got to say, sir?
Well, just to respond to some of what Afro was saying. I mean, you said fascist, right? So what is Antifa? What does Antifa really stand for? Anti-fascist, right?
Yeah.
What do they stand for? Getting rid of the anti-fascists, which makes them what by default. Anyway, so let me say this much though.
Exactly.
Let's be fair to these late night comedians. They make fun of all presidents: Biden, Obama, Bush, all of them. So this is nothing new. It just took this dude right here to really just do it. Really
just as a reminder, the last show we talked about this, I told everyone that he was coming back. He wasn't fired. You know what I mean? So this is we knew what was about to happen. It was a message being sent.
Yeah, but the message that's being sent is a clear and present danger for real. Because
Colbert,
if we don't have amendment, we don't have freedom. I think you said that, right? That's a fundamental freedom, right?
Yeah. His have been being chopped in ABC, NBC, MSNBC. Fallon is under attack. Colbert lost his job. So a lot of, and not only just that, but those send examples and threats to other media to not challenge as well, to kind of self-censor themselves. So that's the general message. And again, these are characteristics of fascism.
This man is calling the whole Democratic Party a terrorist group. I mean, what's that going to leave? Just one party?
Yeah.
Or independence?
Yeah. It's clown stuff. But what's the next? What's the next thing that we got up? So Tylenol and autism. Well, we've been speaking about the man, and he had a great sort of like meltdown on the international stage. And one of his things that he attacked was, Tylenol, saying that it was a leading cause for autism. And a lot of that was leaning into the preachings and the sayings of RFK Jr. So, he's a person that has basically been fighting that fight for quite some time. He appointed him, and he's being true to his fight. So that having been said, Walk, you've definitely got some medical background. What you think about this?
Well, I mean, this has been said about Tylenol for the last 30 years, maybe, probably longer than that. It goes back and forth. So, do I know if it's really causing autism? I don't know. But I know this, a lot of young black boys are being diagnosed with autism more than ever. Like the numbers are going higher and higher every year. Like you meet somebody you like, they say my child is autism, but then when they get in the real world, they're no longer autistic somehow. Yeah,
Mike,
so I don't know.
you might want to fix your mic, Walt.
Sound like on B-sides win again. It's funky. But going on, what's up? What you got to take on this Afro agnostic?
I'm glad somebody said something.
I mean, I don't know what to say, man. This stuff is comical to me, but it's dumb and it's dangerous. I have a background in biological sciences, so like it's very apparent that nothing he said was scientific. Even I don't even know where to start, man. But let's just start here. There has been no rise. There has been no increase in autism.
Bullshit.
That there hasn't. No, there actually hasn't. You have to kind of know the diagnostic history of different diseases. When it was first diagnosed, they had limited. It's kind of like HIV. They didn't have a lot of HIV cases early on because they didn't really have the equipment to test for HIV. Once they developed the first phase of equipment to test for it, the numbers increased. And once the equipment, the diagnostic methods got better, then you had more people, more HIV cases being reported. It doesn't mean that there were actually more people in the population that was growing that fast. They just didn't have the diagnostic methods to detect it. So when they first, when that became part of the DSM initially, autism, they only tested for severe autism. Later, neuroscience opened up this idea of a spectrum. And then you had, so it expanded and included more people. But nothing Trump said was scientific. Correlation doesn't equal causation. He didn't even take the time out to practice the word acetaminophen. He didn't even, you have to go before a large audience to say this word, which is not the easiest word to say, but you would think he would. Everything he said was just so, I don't even know where to begin. I have a background in biological sciences.
Go ahead.
Let's play that that scientific articulation that he gave from the White House. I'm gonna cut the second part up, but I'm gonna play that first part.
Effective immediately, the FDA will be notifying physicians that the use of let's see how we say that. Acetaminophen. Is that okay?
Floyd Mayweather. I'm looking for which one of y'all is this nigga?
I couldn't resist it. I had to play that part. I couldn't resist it. I had to play it. But he gave he articulated the acetaminophen thing or whatever. When have we taken medical advice from a president? Except the last time was the COVID when the president suggested that we drink bleach or some shit, right?
Well, even Dr. Oz, that's way on the conservative side, is like, yo, Tylenol, everything should be in moderation, but it's very important for, mothers that the temperature's up and stuff like that. I know that, my daughter went through a span of febrile seizures, and, one of the most dangerous things is, not bringing that temperature down. And, that was what they did. But student next, go ahead. Brother Youssef is calling out you to set us straight. So go ahead and set us straight.
Hey, shout out to Brother Youssef, man. Look, man, let me tell y'all something.
Hey,
man, is that, in the spirit of Assata Shakur, she wouldn't be taking Tylenol. You know what I'm saying? She would have been on holistic remedies and whatnot, more focused on health and wellness. You see what I'm saying? I don't know when the Black community in particular started to lean towards accepting and being in cahoots and feeling that the medical industry is credible. I mean, when you look at the studies right now, just on this particular subject alone, there's all sorts of diverse opinions from all the way from the left, to the right, in terms of the accuracy of this. And a large part of the reason why that is the big money in pharma and the money they pay scientists and researchers, to give them the type of, outcomes that they want to promote to the public, So I don't need to
say that Trump is going against big pharma.
No, what I'm saying, look, my monologue here is not going to have anything to do with defending President Trump on anything. Let me make that clear. But what I'm saying is that the public skepticism in terms of taking over-the-counter medicine or vaccines or any sort of, drugs and medications promoted by Big Pharma, it requires you today to make sure you're doing your research, and know what you're getting yourself into, and I would stress people to be, more proactive in it, but what I'm saying is that, this doesn't shock me. And I don't think is that I'm not gonna make a big deal that out of Trump, pronouncing, a complicated pharmaceutical name if he did practice it. I would want him more focused on other things in the world, like, potential World War III, there's a potentially, on the horizon. You see what I'm saying? So I think this is a whole lot to do with nothing, and to the point to where those that know already know that pharmaceuticals and whatnot, for the most part, but you can leave them alone.
So we got a question here. I don't know who asked the question, but it says, so the medical industry and scientific breakthrough have not saved lives? I'm assuming that's the student next.
Of course, there's no medical breakthroughs and advances in technology that has promoted and helped people, live. And I'm not arguing that point.
So you can't trust them.
So if I can,
go ahead, Africa.
I said early on, I said do your research on your own, and then you will find out and decide on what's in your best interest.
Yeah, you can't do research. You can't do research on your own, sir. You don't have the resources or the skills or the equipment to do so. All you can do is evaluate the research of others. This is even when he mispronounced the name, it's not so much to mispronounce medical names, is that it shows that you've done next to nothing study. You've looked at a few papers, heard a lecture.
Lack of familiarity.
That's all you did. This demands years and years of research if you're trying to find a causal link between acetaminophen and autism. You just can't read something that was written in a report and just reference it. That's what it indicates. Also, as far as this whole thing of Western medicine and what Assata, trust me, Assata took Western medicines. And she took when she was on the run on the underground. I know this is a fact. The people that know her, she did take it. And when she was in Cuba, they use modern scientific methods. They don't use traditional medicines or things that haven't been tested. There are only really two types of medicines that have been tested and medicines that have not been tested. Most of the CAM medicines, complementary alternative medicines, have not been tested. And this is why they don't have efficacy. So, in regards to, I think, like he should actually be put in jail. He should be held liable because he gave medical advice to 3 million pregnant women. There are 3 million pregnant women in the United States at any given time, telling them to not take Tylenol.
Yeah.
He's in his examples, he talks about a pain and toughen it out. People take Tylenol more than just pain and toughen it out. They take it to reduce fevers, which can cause birth defects in children. So like it makes no sense.
And to wrap it up, I'll say it's sort of like that beautiful sister from I want to say the show is called Family Matters. Was that the show with Urkel? You had that sister that had that stomach, whatever, and she tried to go the holistic route. She didn't take advantage of the science and the medical that was already established, and she died behind it. So I'm just saying that, eating herbs and all this stuff, I'm sure that it's good after a fashion, but sometimes you get to a point where you need to take advantage of what we do.
First of all, you guys are taking my statements all out of context. When I'm talking about eating, proper, and taking in certain foods, that's the proactive measures in terms of staying healthy. Now, obviously, when you go into, you have some sort of event or some sort of a challenge, then there are Western medicines that can absolutely help you. Now, there are some side effects that come with it, but one has to do their own research, but for something such as something over the counter, to deal with headaches, there are a number of treatments that one can do to deal with headaches that's not using some chemical and poison, in order to achieve it, like I said, and furthermore, the last thing I'll say on this is that, is I try desperately never to take, a Tylenol, or Advil or something. But again, when you're in extreme amounts of discomfort, hell, you'll take damn near anything, so even with me, I'll rinse off the little coating that they use to help it go down that has a red dye, such and such, there's other type of BS in it, and try to minimize the poison I put in my system by I'm knowing what I'm doing. You see what I'm saying? So at least finally we have administration.
Student X, that's very solid. I agree.
I want to say that it's not just for pain, though. I just want to make that clear so people don't take it.
Okay, I'm not arguing that.
They take it. I'm saying they take it for fevers and for inflammation, and the causes of the fever and inflammation are things that can affect the development of the child. And it can lead to child effects, child defects, and so forth. And then also, I think what you were saying in regards to over the counter. Let me ask you this just real quick. Everyone knows this. The indigenous people in pre-colonial times, before white people came, they ate organic, right? All organic. They were very healthy. Like the Plain Indians travel distance 20, 25 miles a day. Very good health. Did it help?
White people showed up and just broke them off. Yeah.
It didn't help them against the novel virus. So you can do all those healthy things, healthy lifestyle, but you have to understand in the world there are predators, there are pathogens, there's parasites, there are things that are trying to kill you, and you have to take the proper medical.
We all understand that the biggest challenge that we have is just common people. Is that the same people we rely on to protect us from said, headwinds that exist out there are the very people who have used tactics and put out products that have harmed people, you know, and the very people that we look at the oranges of this, you know, they came up with a whole strategy to strip the people of what they need to be healthy just so they could sell it back to them. And so we understand this. Is a problem.
Hey, point taken. We understand that they do this, they put terrible stuff in it, and they also exploit it. So that's the side of the coin as well. But what were you about to, in closing, what were you about to say about this, El Poo?
Yeah, I wanted to say one thing. Why are we taking any advice? And why is the president on the television telling anybody about anything about men? Let a doctor do that. That's what they're there
for. Exactly. I agree.
How about that?
The bread trucking, East Coast to West Coast, West Coast to East Coast, North to South, South to West, and all the other locations. The brother delivers. If you need something delivered, call him. If you need a case or a pallet full of Tylenol delivered to your home or to your city, call La Brea Trucking. He will deliver it for you.
That's gobealive.org. Go get you some of that black honey. And if you want it in person, go to the Petty Vice in Venice or to the Afro City Marketplace at the Crenshaw Mall.
Do they sell Tylenol there too?
They do.
Score Bar and Lounge, black owned, 7123 Franklin Boulevard. The football game, they got like 9 or 10 TVs up in there. A fully bar, a full pool table. They got music. They got a jukebox you can play. They're good, friendly environment. They be playing dominoes and spades up in there. Stop by. They got security too, so you'll be safe. Don't worry. It's a safe environment. Check them out. 7123 Franklin Boulevard, Sacramento, California.
Turn up the dial, it's 10:30. Be back. Spin that back show, all the classics on track. From 79 to 99, we're crossing the gap. Album reviews, little known facts, hip hop intact. Saturday mornings, dive into the history. Samples and stories, old school mysteries. Early South static, Shiraz and CBD. All about a bean. Turn it up.
Yeah, the Spin That Back show, 10:30, Saturday mornings, most Saturdays, right here on the Focus Up Network. Where the only politics we talk is hip-hop from 79 to 99. That's what I'm talking about. So check it out. When this show is over, just go to YouTube, type in Spin That Back, and look at one of the old shows.
Sex Talk will walk once every 4 years. 2 more years, I'll have another show.
He didn't be wanting the body, and you gotta tell him no.
All right, that was a good one, Walt. Good one. All right,
let's talk about Cardi B. Cardi B is doing a lot of things out here. You know, she's dropped a new album. She's about to drop a new baby, and she's gonna drop some audios on
Yes, I am. I'm having a baby with my boyfriend, Stefan Diggs.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. How are you feeling about it?
And yes, he's having some. He just, I guess, recently had a child with this other IG model, and it's a little bit messy.
Last year.
I mean, I mean, that's what happened. He's a free man. I mean, he's a single man. He does what he does. As long as he takes care of his children, as long as Cardi B takes care of children, I mean, it's probably none of our business, but salute to that sister. I personally think she's a dope ass rapper. I mean, I really don't like female music, and I definitely don't like trashy female music, but I think she actually is very skillful, and she does, she's got some that stuff that crosses over to what I like. So salute to Cardi B. Brother Walk, I know you got something to say about this sister. Well, I'll come back to you because he's doing what he's doing.
Let me say something. Let me go. Cardi B. Hey, I love Cardi B music. I think she's a dope rapper. I know she don't write all her lyrics, but when she flows, she kicks it. I've been listening to her since the Bodak. I've been listening to her. I used to watch Love and Hip Hop in passing. I don't sit and watch the whole show, but in passing, I used to watch Love and Hip Hop. And I used to like Cardi B. And I mean, she makes some good music and do her thing. I just hate the idea that she out here having babies with somebody that got a bunch of other babies. It's not good thinking, sister. Please stop doing that. You got 6 babies by that other man, and do your thing and raise your babies and live your life. Continue to make good music. Salute to Cardi B.
What's going on with you, Walk? What you got to say about Cardi B?
Cardi B is filth. She's a married woman who dropped that title, not yet to become a baby mama. Total filth. And the thing is, I noticed that they're promoting her more. She's even speaking on the subways in New York. Like, okay, pay your fare. They're playing her through the terminal. They're promoting this. They're promoting her. A chick who separated from her husband, whether he cheated or not, to become a baby mama. And she's on TV talking to Gayle King like it's like I'm proud to have his baby. The nigga just had four other daughters. He's trying to have a son. Like, it's ridiculous that they're promoting this. This is being promoted. This is filth. He's trash and she's trash. He's a fucking idiot and she's a fucking idiot. It's disgusting. Cardi B needs to be out the game.
Hey, brother, I appreciate your commitment to TV. You don't have to look at it. You can just talk and just be safe, brother. But go ahead, Afro Agnostics. You got something to say about this Cardi B situation?
No, I don't have a comment on it.
Yeah, that's what's up. Student X, you might not have a comment.
To do with what I
just hey. Look, Walk said it all, man. Walk came out, hard in the paint, man, and made it clear and plain as day. Because my whole point, I argue, is, man, our people, man, we don't stand a chance, bro. This is what's being promoted. This is what they're being inundated with. This is how Black Power unites today, with the star athlete, $1 million, value, and one of the top entertainers, and this is the buffoonery, that's represented of the culture. So, is this, do we call this Black culture, or is this like something else? You know what I mean? Because I don't want no part. I want no part.
Cardi B ain't Black.
She's Puerto Rican.
Right. She's Dominican. She's Dominican, but the thing is that hey, whatever. I get it. I'm not Black because I married a Mexican. You know what I mean? Yes, and so I ain't
got nothing to do with you, Black.
The rules
will still make you Black, and they will make your children Black.
And the reason why we a big reason why. Now, I don't think racism, all this other stuff is the big challenge we have. We have internal issues that we need to deal with, and this Cardi B example, is one of them. So, man, terrible.
You got something to say about this, dude? Sorry. Damn, I'm sorry, El Poo.
Cardi B.
Listen, come here. Shut your stupid ass up.
All right, let's.
I ain't got nothing to say about no damn Cardi B. Good on
that. Didn't Cardi B interview Joe Biden or something too?
I heard she the Pope next.
Anyways, y'all piling on a sister. Let's talk about a sister who did something successful. Diddy's mom beat a RICO case. So the Diddy family is 2-0 versus RICO. So, that's what's up. So, yeah, that case got dismissed. I mean, they were coming after her for, it was like a 33 million RICO lawsuit. So, yeah, so it was Janice Smalls Combs, mother of jailed music mogul Sean Diddy Combs has been cleared of a $33 million federal fraud lawsuit. So, anyways, salute.
Let me see if I got a better picture up here. Okay, I guess that's a bad picture too. My bad.
The beautiful black mama. That's what's up. So,
rumor has it she was the leader of the freak off. She started the freak offs when Diddy was a little baby. Those are rumors, but I believe them.
So after that, let's see, what do we got up next? We done lost Mr. Floyd X. So let's talk about, oh boy. So David, and probably shouldn't say should probably just say Celeste Rivas. But yeah, this right here, this is a pretty ugly situation. And the more that we find out about it, it gets uglier. So friends of singer David believe the missing teen found dead in his Tesla earlier this month was his 19-year-old girlfriend. That's what they thought. Turns out she was like, I think she was 14, and I think she's like 15 now. But you know, that's just the situation. The bottom line, she was found in the trunk of his car or something like that. His car wasn't no crappy little car, and I mean, it's just, you know,
they said that
this
car,
stuff is gonna come back.
The car cost $100,000.
So yeah,
it was a Tesla.
That matters.
Yeah, well, it does matter because that's the car that you used to entomb this female. Again, I shouldn't say that he did it. I don't know, but it looks very bad for this brother.
But the evidence, the people, the family of the young lady said that she had a boyfriend. His name was David. They never met him, and some people reporters have reported that they talked to people who said that the relationship could have started when she was 12 and he was 17. Yeah. So that's what they talking, and they don't have no confirmation. They look at it. It's a homicide. They say the body was cut up, if I'm not mistaken, right? The body was cut up in the back. So it was an absolute murder, and they just got to figure out who did it. Hopefully they got video camera footage of Ring cameras of whoever parked that car, put it there, knew that body was in the car.
I mean, I know you're rich, but you're not missing that car. Go ahead, Walk. Go ahead, Walk.
Well, you do know those Teslas, they have the infinity camera. So, and it just records and it goes to an eternal, I don't know where it goes, like in the cloud, but it's somewhere. And it never stops recording. So I'm like this. I have a daughter, like that's something where that family is like, what the fuck happened to my little girl? Like, you know what I'm saying? In your car, the coincidence is too close. So I hope if this young man did that he gets what he deserves. We gotta wait and see what comes out about it. But they on the case and it's gonna come out. You know what I'm saying? She probably was pregnant.
Ouch. Oh.
Damn.
You know what?
Are you trying to say he raped Karuta?
Ouch.
Damn.
Ouch. Do you know anything about this David and Celeste Rivas situation, Afro Agnostics?
Yeah. I don't know. It's it makes for a very good crime novel. I mean, they find the car with the chopped up body. I don't think he did that single-handedly. I don't know how. I mean, it takes a lot to do that and to compact her up in the trunk of the car. Interesting. I don't know if you mentioned. I didn't catch a lot, but the tattoo that both of them have similar.
Yeah.
But that could be.
That was a big issue.
I don't know, but it's very. It has me interested just because of what's out there now and how did that. I mean, somebody murdered him.
And think about it. Both of them felt like they're like, oh yeah, he had this 19-year-old girlfriend. That's what his friends are saying. And then her people are saying, oh yeah, she had this 19-year-old boyfriend with the name David. So I'm just saying it looks really bad.
I know she was 15 though. She was 15.
Yeah, she was 15. And then just a little bit more background is that she was described as a runaway, you know, so who knows exactly what was going on at home. You know, so this is a mess. I don't think we're gonna get good news anyway. There's a young lady that has been dismembered. It's a gruesome crime. You know, that's already a problem. You know, and you know this brother reportedly, I don't know much about his music, but my God, really, you got a song called "Romantic Homicide"? You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yeah, and then he got a video of him putting the girl in the trunk. It's all kinds of stuff. He had a concerts where he had like a casket and had people like signing, how you go and sign, when you come to a funeral. I forgot what it's called, but whatever, stuff like that. It's just the whole shit is weird. The dude is weird if you listen to him when he talking, tell his story. He talking about in one of his videos, it's like he's killed himself and he's dragging himself. It's just a whole lot of weird stuff going on with this dude. Him and this girl, because they said that he had a girlfriend named Celeste too, allegedly. Both had these tattoos on their index finger with the SHHH. Yeah. I think they say Rihanna got that same tattoo too. I mean, I don't know if that ties into anything because but maybe something might have been going on. But anyway, the whole point I'm trying to say is this dude was out there. And what was she doing out here with this? I mean, first of all, if you 17, what you doing messing with a 12-year-old? I mean, ain't no way you ain't gonna be able to know.
Yeah, that's messy. What you got to say about this, Boston? I know you didn't show up just to give us your pretty looks.
Oh yeah, one more thing to that what you were saying, Walk. Even if she was pregnant, I mean, I know this. I mean, it's a better way of handling it, but damn, that's what y'all think might have motivated him. Hurt me.
I think that was an issue. I definitely read that, but go ahead. FedEx.
I just said, your sound too loud, Walk. That's why I'm muting. Your sound is too loud. But one thing, like, we just got to be mindful, not quick to accuse the brother. I know the song title and the stage show, but we got to remember that these rich people and these celebrities, they have a lot of people around them. He probably he be on tour for months. He probably got friends and family who stay at his house, use his car. We just got to be mindful of that part, because the same way that Michael Vick was convicted of fighting dogs when he had nothing to do with it, from what I understand, it was his family, was doing the fighting dog shit, but it was his property.
He was financing. He knew damn well what was going on.
Yeah. We just got to be mindful of that,
I mean, but when you know if your car is missing for months and months,
for a year.
Bobby Brown went to a city, performed, bought a BMW, and left it there.
Bobby Brown admitted he was on cocaine.
Rich people do different shit, dude. They do. I'm not trying to be a defender of them. I'm just saying they do different shit.
Yeah, and for the record, I'm not accusing them. I have no damn idea, but I think as more facts come out, it's not looking good, is my point. You know what I'm saying? But, I'm definitely not accusing them, brother. I have no clue what the hell's going on here.
Mm-hmm. But you know about Epstein. That's interesting.
I'm about to say conspiracy people.
Epstein. Yeah, we know about him.
Frankenstein, Epstein. No.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see how this plays out. My condolences to her family. I mean, it's just, it's terrible. And Student X brought up a very important thing. She was a runaway. She ran away 3 times. The first time she ran away, they found her in the Hollywood Hills, which might be somewhere in the area of where this cat was. Area. And then, 2 times. So it's like, you got to understand, a lot of these females, whatever's going on in the house, sometimes terrible things going in the house, but you'll be a runaway and then you'll experience terrible things out there in the world. I'm just saying it's an ugly situation. Seek help. You know what I'm saying? And running away is not necessarily the answer.
For sure, bro. Let me say this though too, because I did put that slant on, who knows what was going on in the house, but sometimes there could be nothing but a strong patriarchal figure, that's laying down the law and saying, daughter, you're not gonna go dressed like this, that, and the other. And then if she could have been a little hot in her pants, run up to the hills, selling herself. We don't know yet. What the hell's going on? It's a lot of things.
This is where I agree with Student X. It can be a strong patriarchal figure in the household, because I ran away 5 times from a strong patriarchal figure who had, heavy hands and can hit very hard, and physical abuse and things like that. Strong patriarchal father.
So that having been said, let's talk about
isn't associated with violence, to be fair,
about some strong. Okay, student, let's talk about some strong fathers. Okay, so we're talking about
great
stepdads. Yeah,
great segue.
Stepdad stepping up.
You nice. We testing you, baby.
So one of the things that inspired this topic is that we all saw this video where there was a man who was basically confronting, I guess, his woman about her daughter, who was 18. And he's like, look, she got to leave. She got 30 days. She got to leave. I got her on video sneaking dudes into the house. You know what I'm saying? And then it kind of probably went to a creepy place based on the comments that the other people that saw the full video. I really can't comment on it, but it brought up some comment. It brought up some things that we want to talk about stepfathers stepping in, and also the challenges you face. And I would definitely say if you're sneaking in boys in the house, this is a serious problem because we got guns in the house. And I always tell you can't control what some little boy that comes in the house. You may think, oh, he's my friend, he loves me, he just wants whatever, but he sees an opportunity. We experienced this very thing with a niece outside of our house. So I'm just saying, it's a real issue about sneaking boys in the house. That's some dangerous stuff.
Remind me of the story.
What you got to say about this, Brother Walt? Whatever you want to talk about this.
Well, it was a lot going on. If the stepfather, he seen a situation at hand, and he's trying to rectify it. The girl is 18, and he's trying to get her up out the house. She, according to the video, if y'all would have took the time to watch it, do your research on yourself. She's also wearing the booty shorts around the house. She kind of thick, and he's looking at her, and he's like, damn, he looking like you. It's time for her to go. And she's not working. She's sitting at the house all the time, and she's sneaking boys in the house. He said he got her on video. He had her on video. So I understand where he's coming from that perspective as a stepfather. That's still his household, and he got to regulate everything in there. You know what I'm saying? Something can happen. They might have an argument. The guy could choke the little girl out, kill her, and disappear. You need to know what's going on in your house at all times. So I commend him on that. But the rest of the video, it is a little bit creepy how he's speaking about the daughter. But just as far as that, regulating the household, making sure no boy sneaking in there, I feel him on that.
Afro-agnostics, go ahead, brother. You got the flow.
I don't know what to say, man. I saw the video, man. I didn't know that it was going to actually be used, for the show. I thought it was nonsensical. It was kind of comical, but to that one point of having anyone in the house without parental knowledge is, that's a no-no. That should be a no-no by any parents in any household. But one thing I remember responding to that video, one thing that he said about the young girl wearing revealing clothing in the house was that he noticed that, and he can't help but, himself in regards to that. Like, he's just being a man. And I just find that very interesting because we don't really have any really epidemic problems with lesbians raping young girls than we have just men. So this whole thing about, being a man, able to control themselves, I think that's problematic. And it's part of that patriarchy. Yeah.
What you got to say about that, student next? Or actually, what you got to say about the topic?
Yeah, I would say I didn't see the video because there was no link in what I had, that I got sent out via email this morning. There was no link, so I'm just going off what you all are saying, now he doesn't sound like a very strong patriarchal figure, this particular gentleman, because when you have that, there's a clear hierarchy and decision making, there's a chain of command. You see what I'm saying? So he's, there's not going to be this going back and forth, girl, you gotta go. You had somebody in here? Oh, okay, that's a problem. You know what I mean? It's gonna be real clear. So that means, again, define roles, responsibilities in the household. And then, when it comes to the economic and social stability of the household, I assume he's a breadwinner. I don't know, but if he's a breadwinner, and again, if he's having a problem with authority, he's not holding it down properly. Let me tell you that, but, these having, any like real established household, that has decorum, is not going to have, their daughters or any women inside the house, are just walking around in any type of way. They're going to be more presentable, especially if they're men present. It's not because they're going to get raped or anything else like this. It's just because, that is, the normal and natural thing, to do, and it's respectful, so, to make anything else out of it, I think is, not exactly right, but maybe this gentleman was just talking about the fact that, if someone's walking around with revealing clothes, and and you're attracted to the opposite sex and you see this, then that you don't